Imagine waking up and discovering that the hockey world was turned upside down in a single night. Two NHL stars traded in a deal no one saw coming. And meanwhile, Mitch Marner's name continues to hover in the air. Could the Toronto Maple Leafs be on the verge of making history? Let's talk about it. On Friday night, the hockey world was stunned by a bombshell report. Mikko Rantanen, one of the biggest names in the NHL, was traded by the Colorado Avalanche to the Carolina Hurricanes. And as if that wasn't enough, Taylor Hall, a former first overall draft pick, was also involved in the same three-team deal. It was one of those trades that caught everyone off guard, especially since there weren't many rumors about it before the announcement. Rantanen, who is set to become a free agent, had been in talks with Colorado, but in the end, he took a different path. Now, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with the Toronto Maple Leafs? Well, the answer might be closer than we think. Mitch Marner, the talented Leafs forward, is in a similar situation to Rantanen. With his contract nearing its end, Marner has been the subject of trade speculation every season, especially after disappointing playoff exits. Despite his undeniable talent and ability to contribute both offensively and defensively, Marner's future is bound to be a hot topic in the coming months. And it seems that other teams around the league are already keeping an eye on this situation. According to Frank Seravalli of Daily Faceoff, the Carolina Hurricanes inquired about Marner's availability while negotiating for Rantanen. Seravalli doesn't know how far those discussions went, but it's interesting to think that Marner's name is already circulating. After all, he and Rantanen were part of the same draft class and have put up similar production numbers. Could Marner be the next star to find a new home? Of course, this is all just speculation for now. Seravalli estimates that the chances of Marner being traded before the deadline are 20%, while his colleague Ryan S. Clark believes the probability is even lower, around 10%. But as they say in the hockey world, you never know. What happened with Rantanen could be a sign that big changes are coming, and Marner's name will certainly remain in the spotlight. Hockey is full of surprises, and the recent trade involving Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall makes us reflect on how quickly things can change. When I first saw the news, my initial reaction was shock, but also curiosity. After all, these moves don't just affect the teams directly involved. They create ripple effects that could reach the Toronto Maple Leafs, especially when it comes to Mitch Marner. Marner's situation is both delicate and fascinating. He is an incredibly talented player, someone who brings energy and creativity to the ice every game. But as we all know, hockey isn't just about individual skill. It's about how those pieces fit into the bigger puzzle that is the team. And unfortunately, the Leafs have faced playoff struggles that leave many of us, as fans, feeling frustrated. Now, with Rantanen's trade as an example, it's natural to ask questions about Marner's future. Should the Leafs consider a trade? Or is he essential to the team's success in the coming years? I think the answer isn't simple. On one hand, Marner is a game changer with his brilliant playmaking. On the other hand, modern hockey requires teams to be strategic, not just in terms of salary cap management, but also in overall roster construction. Personally, I believe the Leafs need to think carefully before making any decision. Trading a player like Marner isn't something you do overnight. He's part of the team's identity, someone who grew up with us and represents the hope of many fans. But at the same time, if an opportunity arises that brings long-term benefits to the team, maybe it's worth considering. At the end of the day, what matters most is the Leafs' success. We want to see the team advance in the playoffs, compete for the Stanley Cup, and bring back that sense of pride we all feel when things are going well. If keeping Marner is the key to that, great. If a trade is the right move, then it should be done wisely, with a vision for the future. And what do you think? Should the Leafs consider a trade involving Marner, or is he a crucial piece for the team's future? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk about what the future holds for our beloved Toronto Maple Leafs. After all, hockey is all about passion, and your voice is part of this story.